Okay.
Well, Mick, you must be proud of that effort, considering you had one on the bench and you're against a pretty good side.
Yeah, I thought the boys were pretty valiant, but made a couple of mistakes that cost us.
What were they, Mick? I know there's a lot of things probably, but what were the main ones that sort of...
I just think sometimes under pressure... Can you just pass me water, please, mate? My throat. Good. What were the mistakes? Well, look, both sides will always make mistakes under that sort of pressure, but we've just got to capitalise on opportunity, and I don't think we did today. But, you know, you can never criticise their endeavour, and I reckon the fact that we stayed in the game as long as we did with a depleted bench and it didn't have the availability of really the rotations you expect, I thought we played good football against a top four side. But mistakes, you know, sometimes it might be a shot on goal, it might be just finding the right target, it might be just a hand pass, but it's very difficult to be critical of a side that gives as much as they did.
What we've been told about Dale Thomas as you went along, he tried twice to come back on.
Yeah, he hurt his knee in the first one and he got kicked in the leg in the second one, so we'll review that. But you know, Daisy's a kid that he would have just stayed out there if we let him. It's the same with Menzel. He would have been, if we had said, listen, go on, but you know, the medical report was, listen, it's not wise to do so. Davey Allard's off having X-rays on his foot, so you know, once you go down 2 or 3 players, you really, it just limits your opportunity to actually start to put more pressure back on the opposition, and also to protect a few of the players. Like Wood's basically been playing seconds all year until the last, say, 6 or 7 games, I suppose. Then you've got you know, Sheen playing his 16th game of football. So to be able to protect them, you need resources on the bench. So it probably put too much pressure on those young blokes. And Wood's not a young bloke, but a player that's, you know, been out of the system for a little while, along with other players who I thought would, you know, Dennis Armfield's been out of the senior squad for a while. Nick Graham hasn't played a lot of league football. So, and for that matter, neither has Bell when he broke his finger, and I think he missed 7 or 8 games. So, all up, not a bad effort.
Last minute, Mick, we were a little bit frustrated that the team didn't roll the dice. It was sort of a bit of sideways, kicking down the line.
No, not at all.
Can I ask you
with it?
Can I ask you, what do you make of the decision at the end on Sam Docherty from the non-controlling umpire? Yeah,
a bit strange, especially when the senior umpire was 20 metres away. And I think he got it right. Not the 80 or 90 metre one. I thought that in the spirit of the game, the way it was probably play on. But then I'd say that, wouldn't I? It wasn't us getting free kick against us.
Andrew Carrasco's effort, Mick, to keep Joel Sell to 4 touches in the second half,
yeah,
especially after he looked as though he was going to go off the leash in the first half.
Yeah. Well, that's right. It was a terrific effort because, you know, we were a bit disappointed in the first half with him. We did change it up a bit. You know, I rate Selwood as one of the best players in the competition. In fact, he's the sort of player that you know, the whole package about Selwood is great leadership, pops up when they need him and this sort of stuff. So, but Andrew's got a massive amount of pride, and we couldn't afford to take him off near the end there. So, you know, for a bloke that's been around, you know, in and out of the side because of injury, it's an extraordinary effort, really, because of that pride factor.
There's something about these games, Mick. I think it's the last 5 have been really tight. Just about everyone, you could argue, Carlton could have and should have possibly won the game.
Yeah, well, that's what I said during the you know, a couple of weeks ago. There's always, when you get this close that often, there's got to be a decision. But I'll say now, the 2 Geelong games, in my way of thinking, they were there to be won, and perhaps certain things took place that without going into too deep, I thought we were probably a bit stiff to have lost both games.
Rowan Hawkins, Mick, you'd be happy with that?
Well, he didn't play on him.
Well, he had a lot of one-on-one battles.
No, that's your comment.
Mick,
You mentioned that Freo game before, like in terms of the things you need to do to fix up with, losing those close games. Was it just merely a case of the things that are beyond your control, really?
Today?
The injury. Tonight. Things beyond your control.
I thought we'd... the mistakes made against Fremantle were our mistakes, and it gave them an opportunity to finish the game. Under no circumstances was that the case today. As much as I say we made mistakes, it was gallant. It was a gallant effort for a start off to measure off mind-wise with Geelong. We know that Geelong are fighting for a top four. Our opponents in the last 3 weeks and next week and the week after have all got a better reason to go and play at that level to win the game. So the test for us next week will be how many players we've got left. I'm not too sure. But certainly over the last few weeks, we've played sides that technically have got a greater desire to win the game. But we've measured off against them. We measured off against Geelong today. The thing that I believe beat us was we didn't have the rotation. And we had players that, I think there was one stage there, close to the 25 to 30 rotation to us 8 or 9. So this football gets you. No one survives that. But to hang in there long enough, I thought was a fantastic effort by the boys. I am so wrapped from where we were to what we are doing now, because we've cemented a game structure that we're happy with. We are working together. We're being well led. Yes, we're making mistakes, but that will get better. But we're not giving it in, and we haven't given in. Even the Sydney game where we got smashed for a quarter, we still fought back in the last quarter. And I don't know what's in store for us next 2 games. Depends on what our personnel's like, but it's very difficult to criticise. In fact, I'm not going to criticise. It's very difficult to take a loss after that effort.
Do you think the league needs to look at tightening the rules for cases? Do you think the league needs to look at tightening the rules for cases where the umpire that's 50, 60 metres away?
No, that's the way it is. It's always been like that. They support each other. So I'm not going to be crook on that. That's the way it is. It's no use. That's just the roll of the dice, I suppose.
This last 6 weeks, does it give you a real springboard, or do you hope it gives you a real springboard into next year?
That's the greatest bonus. There's no question that what we've been through this year, it would have been easy to say it's been a disastrous year, win-loss, and what have we got out of it? You've got to find something out of it. Now, it's not a minor thing we've found. It's a real sense of, right, we now know what I'm expecting. We now know that we've got leaders that are on the up, young leadership, particularly with Mark Murphy in his second year. He's getting better, and a lot of players are going with him, and he's dragging them into a better zone. We're more controlled. There's a fantastic feel around the place, albeit, yes, we're out of the finals, we know that, but there's a real sense of we want to make sure we do not let our supporters down in any game, and we're not going to take an easy option. We've dropped marks and bad hand passes and poor kicks, but it's not for lack of effort. So what we take with us now is fantastic grounds for next year. It doesn't get us in the finals next year, but what it does do, it says we have matched it with Geelong, we've matched it with the Gold Coast, we've matched it when we've beaten the Gold Coast, we've beaten North Melbourne, we've matched it with Fremantle, and they are all in or about the top 4, if the Gold Coast are just outside. So what we need to do, though, is to continue on and grab what we've done this year, this last part of the year, and carry it into a pre-season and understand that nothing short of that effort is required. But the good thing is it's been sustained. Now, I can't answer for next week or the week after, because we don't know what sort of personnel we're going to have available for us. But if the effort and we can sustain that type of effort, it gets us a beautiful run into the pre-season.
Just quickly, the supporters would probably want to know, Mick. I know it's just happened, but Menzel, the prognosis on him and maybe...
No, in honesty, I don't. well, I don't know whether it's an AC joint or it's been subluxed. I really don't know. All I know is that his shoulder, he couldn't come back on. So until you get medical clearance, it's a waste of time speculating, really.
Thanks, Carl.